my left foot covered up like he said. He was about 4.
All right. So you guys are in the back. You should be in the front so everybody can see what you're doing right now, which is what? Jumping up and down, wave your hands in the air like you just don't care. Woohoo! Say, I was born a champion. All right, give yourself a round of applause. I was going to say you don't need to do that because we're just going to do it all over again. This is our fat burning fitness workshop. If you're here and you forgot that we're going to move tonight, one way or the other, we are going to create some energy. So, thanks for being here. I'm Dr. Yachter, if we have not met. And how many of you guys have been to a workshop here in our office before? Give yourself a round of applause. Awesome. How many of you guys, this is your first workshop? All right, give her a round of applause. Excellent, excellent. What's your name? Mimi, I'm Dr. Yachter. Pleasure to meet you. All right, so we're going to have some fun tonight. Tonight we got Fat Burning Fitness, and you're going to learn something different, I promise you. I've been exercising and working out and doing these things for many, 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 many years. And what I've realized is that people think a certain way when it comes to weight loss. So tonight I'm going to come at it from a slightly different angle, which is good because I have a feeling it's going to pique your interest. Next month we have our next workshop, which is True Cellular Detox. Tonight I'm going to mention about toxins and how it affects your body releasing fat. So we're going to touch on it. We're not going to spend a whole workshop on detoxing. You know how dangerous toxins are, but it does play a part in weight loss and fat loss. So we're going to touch on that tonight. But for everybody in this room, the question is not so much if we're toxic. The real question is what? How toxic are we? Yeah. So if you're serious about addressing it at a level deeper than you ever have, plan on being here at this workshop. This is something that we only do once a year, and if you want to get it, you got to be here next month. So make sure you get one of those workshop cards, and it's got everything that you need on there. So moving into our topic of discussion, overweight, obesity, not telling anybody anything we don't already know. We're overweight and obese as a country, but how fat are we? When you look at the numbers up there, you see 66% of the population's in this country either overweight or obese, compared to the rest of the world, which is what? 37%. Our children, again, overweight to obese, 29% of our population, relative to a 14% worldwide. Do we have a problem in this country? Yes or yes? Yeah. And so because of that, as you've probably heard, we take more medication in this country than any other country in the world. And it's got a lot to do with this, and it's got a lot to do with our approach to what happens. When we start becoming overweight or obese, what happens to your blood pressure? It goes up. So you go into the doctor, you're going to leave with a what? A prescription. And they'll put you on a blood pressure medication or maybe a diuretic, maybe a beta blocker. And then what are the side effects of those medications? More heart problems. Yeah, more side effects. And it actually raises insulin levels. So if you're on that long enough and your insulin levels stay high long enough, guess what else you get to go on? Diabetes medications. And what's one of the number one side effects of diabetic medications? Heart problems. Hello, what is this called? It's called the downward spiral, yeah. So we take medication after medication, have side effect after side effect, and then we're taking, before you know it, medications for the side effects. And so, again, this is a big part of why we're a pill-popping nation, and we depend on these pills because nobody's ever helping us get to the root, the cause, and the source of the problem. I don't know how many doctors actually sit down with their patients, instead of giving them a prescription for diabetes or a heart condition, say, okay, let's draw a line in the sand and lose 15 pounds. You know, they don't go to school for that. It's just a lot easier to write the prescription, and quite honestly, they don't believe in you. They don't believe you can do it. So that's why we're here tonight. So when you look at all those pictures, that pretty much tells the story. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, very serious, very dangerous, deadly condition. And how about sleep apnea? Did you know that a 10% increase in weight gain increases your risk of sleep apnea by more than 30%? And so how common is it that we have sleep disorders now? So all of these health problems that we're talking about right now can be solved with one issue. And that's what we're here to learn about tonight. How do we take the safest and most effective approach towards losing weight so we can feel great and have our healthiest life ever? Raise your hand and say, I. I'm still breathing. I still have a pulse. I can still hear Dr. Okay. So how do we walk this back to normalcy? A 22-pound weight loss reduces your heart attack risk by what? 75%. A 15-pound weight loss reduces your risk of diabetes by what? 50%. And then losing 10 pounds doubles your chances of normalizing your blood pressure. So it's not just a matter of being more comfortable in your pants and looking good. It's a matter of life and death. Turn to your neighbor, say, life and death. So I'm not going to talk to you about dieting other than realizing why they fail, why diets don't work. How many of you in the room have ever lost 10 pounds? It was nice while it lasted, and then it went right back up, right? And there's a reason for that, because when we lose weight, basically most of the time, if you're just conserving calories, you will lose weight. You'll watch the scale go down. But what are you losing? Are you losing fat, or are you losing muscle and water? Yeah. So when you're conserving calories, your body in its infinite intelligence will not let you hurt itself. What it's going to do is it's going to slow the metabolism down as a survival mechanism. So guess what? Even though you just lost 10 pounds and it was water and muscle and you're all excited because your scale went down, your metabolism slowed down. So what happens when you slow your metabolism down? The weight goes right back on. As soon as you start eating normally again, because it's slower, the metabolism, you have more of a tendency to gain weight faster. So we keep messing our metabolism up every time we diet. We're making the cause of the problem worse and worse and worse. Is that making sense? So what is the key to this? If you're going to lose weight, you want to lose the right weight. You don't want to lose water and muscle. You want to lose what? Fat. And you want to correct the metabolism. So if you can lose fat, if you cause your body to burn fat instead of storing it, burn fat and raise the metabolism, you solve the problem now, and you can lose the weight, lose the right weight in the right place, and make sure you get all the health benefits, number one. And number two, keep the results. Turn to your neighbor, say, keep the results. So that's what we want to talk about. So there's 3 keys to that. 3 keys to resetting your metabolism and promoting full-time fat burning. Everybody say that? Full-time fat burning. How do we flip the switch to turn our body into a full-time fat burning machine? So we're going to cover a couple of those tonight. So there is a difference between burning fat and burning calories. How many of you guys ever got on a weight loss program, and like your whole MO was to burn calories, right? Get on the bike, go for a long jog, work out for an hour. Our goal has always been to what? Burn calories. How many calories do I need to burn in order for me to lose a pound, right? It's always been about counting calories. Well, we just explained why that doesn't work. And for most of us, we wouldn't be here if it did work. So we're looking for something different. Obviously, that's not working out for us. What do we do instead? We don't want to burn calories. We want to burn fat. Now, how does that happen? You have to look at these 2 pictures so that you can see the difference. The person on the left is a sprinter. The person on the right is a jogger. Now, one of these two people look healthier than the other. Which one would you rather be? I'd rather be the sprinter. Why? I mean, look at him. He's built. He's got lots of muscle. And the more muscle you have, the stronger your metabolism is going to be. The more muscle you have, the more your body's going to want to burn fat. Contrary to that, the less muscle you have, the harder it's going to be to burn fat. And the longer you exercise like that, when you go out for a long run, long duration, low heart rates, low exertion, you're not going to be doing the things that's necessary to build muscle and speed up your metabolism. You'll get some health benefits from it, but long term, you wind up looking anything like that, and it's not an ideal situation. Can everybody see the difference there? All right, so let's break that down and figure out what we need to do to make this work, because it's really not about burning calories. It's about how to build muscle and raise your metabolism. And when you're doing this, it all comes down to not what you're doing while you exercise, it's the response that you create after the exercise. Did everybody get that? Most of us think that, well, I got to go out for an hour jog or an hour run, so I can burn all these calories. And we were thinking, okay, well, there it is, it's happening right there. I just burnt 500 calories. But really what happens after you exercise like that, it's destructive for the next day or two because of the hormonal response that you've created. So the question now becomes, how do we exercise that's going to create the proper hormonal response post-exercise? After the exercise is done, what are we training our body to do? Are you with me so far? Okay, so let's look at that. So the classic aerobic exercise, this is, again, what we call long duration, low intensity. Go out for a long run, long bike ride, feels good, we're burning lots of calories. What are we doing? We're lowering our resting heart rate, we're lowering our blood pressure, we're aiding in detoxification. So we've got a few benefits that are actually occurring real time while we're exercising. However, what happens after the exercise? It raises stress hormones called cortisol. What is cortisol? It's catabolic. Cortisol is catabolic, meaning it breaks down muscle. And also, cortisol is a hormone that raises something else, another hormone called insulin. And when cortisol goes up and insulin goes up, guess what else? Fat storing goes up. So this is the antithesis to fat burning right here. This is what's happening when you're done exercising for a long period of time. This is what's happening right after. You're breaking down muscle, you're increasing fat storing, you're decreasing testosterone, lowering human growth hormone, which is necessary for building muscle and burning fat, and it also lowers your immune system. Does that sound like a good thing? No. So, again, is there benefit while you're exercising in this fashion during the exercise? Yes, but very little. What we're primarily concerned with is what happens after. Can everybody see how it's the opposite of what we're aiming to do? Everybody with me so far? All right, so when we go into this part, the burst training, which is short duration, high intensity, there's a different type of hormonal response that's created. Human growth hormone is released in proportion to the intensity of the workout. Now, that means that the higher in intensity that you can get with the short amount of time that you're going to be doing this workout, the more growth hormone your body's going to release. The more growth hormone you release, the more muscle you make. The more muscle you make, the easier it is going to be for your body to burn fat. Are you with me? Fat is mobilized after the intensity, the higher intensity exercise. You have endorphins, which help you feel good and give you more energy. And then you're typically increasing the growth of all muscle fibers and slowing down muscle wasting. That's why human growth hormone and testosterone, these are the two hormones that they refer to as the fountain of youth. Because if you're catabolic, if you're breaking down muscle, how are you aging? Rapidly. But if you're building more muscle as you get older, how are you aging? Gracefully. Yeah. Now, you hear all the time, you hear people getting testosterone shots and bioidenticals and hormones. As we get older, our body tends to want to make less of all this, right? But what you're learning right now is that if you give it the right exercise, it'll respond hormonally properly to where your body can make extra amounts of this in a productive and a healthy fashion. So muscle is the greatest determinant for metabolism. What is? Muscle. Okay. So how do we burst train? To get this hormonal response that we want for building muscle, burning fat, raising your metabolism, getting all these benefits, you need to exercise at 80 to 90% of your max for about 20 seconds. All right, so that means you're just going all out for a short period of time, 20 seconds. Causes your body to burn fat for the next how long? 20 seconds, 36 hours. That's pretty good rate of return there. Only 3 to 4 sets of 20-second bursts 3 times a week. So this is not something that you want to do every day. You want to do it every other day. And more is not better. You have to have a day of rest in between workouts. And now we are going to, yeah. Whoa, I forgot how many I had there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay. Hope you guys aren't too comfortable, because what I'm going to ask everybody to do right now is stand on up. And if you can't stand, it's okay. You can stay in your seat if you really can't stand. I will understand. Now, what we're going to proceed to do is burst train. Yeah. So what we saw on this is we do 20 seconds on, 20 off, 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, and then a 2-minute rest. All right. Now, after that 2-minute rest, you do it again. And after that set, you take another 2-minute rest, and then you do a third one of 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, 20 off. All right. But for those of us who are beginning or who don't regularly exercise, you're just going to do it once, and that's what we'll do now. Now, as you can see in this slide, you can do any exercise in a burst fashion like that. You could do jumping jacks. You could do push-ups. You could run stairs. You could do sit-ups. The exercise is less important than the intensity and the duration. So for when we do this now, basically, I'm just going to run in place and have my arms go up and down like this. And may not be looking like I'm doing 80 to 90% of my max, because I'm not. But we're just going to demonstrate it, all of us tonight. All right? And I want you to feel what 20 seconds feels like. And then we're going to rest for 20 seconds. And then we're going to do it again. And if you're sitting, just get your arms going up and down like that. All right? And try to move your feet, stomp your feet on the floor. And we're going to start this right now. Go. Hear lots of feet stomping. Hearts are beating. Awesome. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, stop. That was good. All right, so that was 20. Yeah, so that was 20 seconds. You're at a 10-minute rest, 10-second rest. You got 5 more seconds rest, and now we're going to do it again. All right, 2, 1, go. You guys look great. Awesome. Say, I'm fat burners. I'm a fat burner. Some of you are too tired to say I'm a fat burner. 2, 1, rest. Okay, good. You're doing great. So far, so good. I'm doing 20 off. 20 on, 20 off, yeah. We got 10 more seconds, 5 more second rest, and we're going to do our last one here. You guys are doing it great. Let's finish strong now, okay? Ready? Go. Five more seconds. Doing great. 2, 1. All right. Give yourself a round of applause. Good job. All right. Awesome. Nice work. Nice work. All right. So how'd that feel? That was awful, wasn't it? Not too bad, right? Yes.
If you don't feel like your heart, like if you're like you're not feeling that, is that still like you're still burning or?
Yeah, you it's good that you're aware of that, because that means that you need to push harder.
Right.
Yeah. Now, again, if you're not used to exercising, just do one, just like we just did. Go through, do that 3 times a week, 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, 20 off. And that's it. Just do that 3 times a week. Now, the following week, add yourself in a second round of it. All right, so you rest the 2 minutes, then do it all over again. Then the third week, add yourself the third round in it. So technically, you're supposed to be doing 3 rounds of that. But again, for those of us who are just getting started with this and we need to condition ourselves a little bit, start with the 1 round and build up to it. But remember, growth hormone is released in proportion to the intensity of the exercise. So what that means is that if the exercise is not at the level of intensity, 80 to 90% of your max, then you're not getting that full hormonal response that we're aiming for. Are you with me so far? Does that make sense? So that, yeah.
What is that? What is 80 to? What
80
is
to
that?
90%. So
Are you out of breath? I mean, what is that? How do
yes,
you judge?
yeah. So instead of going 220 minus your age and all that, my coach, when I was training for the marathon, we used to use the actual heart rate, but we also used something called PRE, perceived rate of exertion. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is like your last dying breath, like, an 8 would be your 80% of your max. So I know when I'm at a 7, there's exertion there. When I'm in at 8, I cannot sustain that for more than probably 2 minutes at a time, and that's just at my current level of conditioning. Back in the day, I could sustain it for indefinitely. But now, for most of us having this conversation, if you're at a 7 or an 8, you're pushing it, you're getting to a pretty high level, but remember, you only have to keep it there for 20 seconds, and that's it. All right, so just remember that it's your perceived rate of exertion. So if 10 is like, on a scale of 1 to 10, pedal to the metal, then a 7 or an 8 would probably be good. Yeah?
And you said any exercise?
Any exercise, as long as you can get that exertion up there. Yeah. And that's what makes it fun, because you could really do a whole body workout and, again, achieving that fat burning effect. So what's the best time to exercise?
Morning.
Why?
Keep your sugar down.
Exactly. First, compliance-wise, if you wait till the end of the day and everything has its importance over that, chances are it'll fall out. You won't have time to exercise, and so you don't get any benefit at all. And then in the morning on an empty stomach, you have your blood sugar level, you have human growth hormone at its highest, testosterone's at its highest, so your body's best ability to make muscle and burn fat is at its peak in the early morning hours on an empty stomach. Okay, so that's what stimulates your metabolism, and I would always recommend to everybody here, get it done in the morning. You give your first fruits to the Lord. That's just not praying and reading your Bible. Your exercise also becomes your spiritual triathlon. So set that time aside. On the off days of you doing this, that's when you do your brisk walking, 15, 20 minutes, brisk walk, and that'll be perfect. Then you got a great routine, a little bit every day. All right, so that's the first key as far as creating the right hormonal strategy for fat burning after the exercise. Hopefully everybody got that. Is that a different concept than we're used to? Remember, it's not what you're doing during the exercise that's going to make the biggest difference. It's what happens after. Yeah. So just remember, keep that in mind. Use the strategy that we just talked about. Now, the second thing when it comes into the nutrition part of this, is, again, getting your body to release the fat. And there is a way to understanding this to where you make better choices in terms of your food and your supplements to help your body dump the fat that it doesn't need. So some of these come down to sugar, toxins, and bad fats. And it causes inflammation, it causes a bad hormone imbalance. So for example, sugar causes a hormonal response for fat storage. How is that? You know, when sugar goes up, when insulin goes up, what does your body do to fat? Stores fat, right? So we know that. You've been to the diabetes workshop and all these workshops in the past, same thing, but for purposes of losing fat tonight, not losing weight, losing fat, you have to control those sugars. Eliminate the sugars. And so we start with that, and then the second thing, as I said in the beginning, is toxins attack the thyroid. Toxins attack the thyroid, and that's the first thing. But the other thing is that the more toxic that you are, the more fat your body makes. It uses it as a protective mechanism to sequester or hide away the toxins and to stop the damage occurring to the rest of the body. So it's an intelligent mechanism that your body uses to protect the body from the harmful effects of the toxins. It makes more adipose tissue, more fat. So when you release toxins, what does it help your body also release? Fat, yeah. And the hydrogenated oils, you know what we're talking about, the hydrogenated oils, right? Partially hydrogenated, all these bad oils. They just light up the cells. They cause rampant inflammation along with the sugar and the toxins. And when there's damage at the cellular level, remember all these little cells that you see in the picture on the left, all those cells, even on the right there, the normal ones, the cell membrane is made up of fat. What is the cell membrane made up of? Fat. So when sugar, toxins, and bad fats rain down on that, it's reign of terror and causes major disruption at the cellular level, everything becomes inflamed. And when the integrity of the cell wall is damaged like that, then it stops the normal function of those cells. You have DNA in there, you have all types of functional mechanisms with regard to neurotransmitters and hormones that are being disrupted, let alone the transportation of oxygen and energy, and all that is affected. That's why when you're toxic and you have high blood sugar and you're just not eating well, that's a big part of why your energy goes down, because of this inflammation. So my point is that all these cells need fat. They need good fat for the healing and the regeneration and the repair of all those damaged cells and damaged tissues. So if you give your body these good fats, then it can actually let go of the fat that it doesn't need anymore. Your body's going to hold on to fat to repair and regenerate as a protective mechanism for the damage that's caused by all these things. Is that making sense? So when you're giving your body good healthy oils and good healthy fats, and it uses that to repair the cells and tissues, your body's starting to bring the inflammation level down, and it's allowing your body to start releasing the fat. So how important are these good fats? Really important. Do good fats make your body fat? No. Good fats help your body burn fat. And this is another important takeaway for you tonight. How much of this and in how many different meals during the day are you having servings of good fat? Do you have servings of good fat in the morning for breakfast? Do you have servings of good fat for during your lunch? Do you have servings of good fat at dinner? Do you have servings of good fat for your snacks? Because the more you want your body to burn fat, the more of these good fats that you need. And the more that you leave them out and omit them, your body's going to use the energy from sugar instead of from fat. We have almonds on the left, walnuts to the right of that, olives below, far bottom left corner, avocados. You have coconut oil, avocado oil. You can cook in those. Extra virgin olive oil, if you are going to cook in that, low heat. And then you have the butter up there. Make sure that it's grass-fed. Grass-fed butter is a good, healthy fat. And then coconut oil. So I'm going to give you some examples of how you can use these in just a moment. But where do you think you get the better, longer lasting energy from? Sugar or fat? Fat. Why? You're just saying that. You just want to give me the right answer, right? You know, when I was training for the Disney Marathon, I talk about it like it was yesterday. It was actually 20 years ago. But so, you know, going out there the night before, I said to my trainer, I said, so am I going to get to carb up with the pancakes and the pasta? He's like, no, we don't do that. I'm like, well, what do you do for energy? He's like, you got all the energy you need, all the good fats. I'm like, what good fats? He's like, well, for dinner the night before, you're gonna have a piece of salmon, and okay, and what else? Water-soaked almonds. Oh, wow, that sounds really good. I'm gonna go out and run 26 miles tomorrow, and that's really, you think that's gonna be enough to carry me through? He's like, just do what I tell you to do. And so I not only had the water-soaked almonds that night, I took a bunch with me on the run. And wouldn't you know it, I did not get hungry at all. I was just poking at the almonds the whole time. I was running with 4 other guys, and I was the only one that didn't run out of gas. I was the only one that did not get injured. I was the only one that did not have to stop. And I went the whole way through, never ran out of energy. So I asked him at the end, I said, Stu, what's the magic with the almonds? I mean, with the fats? He said that the fats are like the coals in your barbecue, you know, like the charcoal briquettes. When you light them, they never go out. You come back the next day, they're still burning and glowing and they're still going. And sugar, it's like when you strike a match. You get a big old flame and then it flames out just as fast. So energy-wise, he said you'll always have the most endurance, not just with your workouts, but with your energy during the day and the energy that your body uses from the fats. Lesson learned. So I've never stopped using that, and I've never stopped teaching that. And it's not just important for your body, it's for your brain too. Yes?
Why water soap?
They plump up and they retain the hydration, which is good when you're running. So yeah, you're drinking water while you run, but you're also eating it too. What's that?
They're easier to digest.
Yeah, that's what they say. Mm-hmm. No questions for you, Ruth. I'm just kidding.
It's the same if you eat almond butter.
Yeah, let's go to the next slide so I can show. Is it okay if you eat almond butter instead of almonds? And the answer is going to be yes. It's going to be in the next slide. But just to again help everybody here make application, and remember, these are double solid yellow lines. That's what I want you to see. When you're driving on the road and you see a double solid yellow line, do you cross over? No, don't go there. So what I'm showing you now is because you want your body to burn fat, you want to raise your metabolism, and you want permanent results. So everything that you see here on the left, this old food pyramid, with all the bread, pasta, rice, cereal, crackers, you have to forget that you ever learned that. And this is what causes our weight problems. This is what causes our hormonal problems. This is what wrecks your metabolism, and this is what causes us to always have weight problems and always go back to the same problem, putting the weight back on. Once you make the transition to the right side over there, once you see that down there on the base, what do you see at the base there? Do you see any carbs, any pasta, rice, potatoes, breads? No. So the majority of your diet should be what? Greens, meats, and good fats. And if you look up paleo diet online, this is the easiest way to correct your metabolism, correct your hormones, get your health back under control from your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your cholesterol. This is the answer right here, let alone drop 20 pounds. and that's what you're looking at. The good, healthy meats. You know, if you want a little bit of dairy in there and you can handle it, it doesn't cause you allergies. Again, it's all grass-fed. You want to have grass-fed meats, grass-fed milk, grass-fed dairy, and then you have your veggies in there, and you got your nuts and a little bit of beans. But that is the way to go. You want to start moving in that direction. And when you do, when you adopt that lifestyle and you make those changes and those commitments, then everything else becomes easy. Your decisions are like to go in the right direction are just non-existent. You don't have to decide anything anymore when you eat from a pantry that looks like that. Is everybody with me? Okay. So here's making application. So breakfast, the best and easiest approach to this is just like a smoothie, a shake. So you have a couple of scoops of the protein powder, and in there you have some berries. You don't want to have a bowl of fruit that big, but it does make a nice picture, doesn't it? Okay, so you got your raspberries, blueberries, strawberries. You got all your berries in there. You have a little cup, maybe 4 or 5 ounce cup, and then some almond butter. Now, do you see anything strange about the almond butter? Like if you look at that almond butter, can anybody see anything? Like if you've noticed different almond butters, there's so many different kinds out there. What do you notice about that may not quite be the best? What's that? A little soupy. Oil, the color. You see little specks of black in there, which would make me suspicious that it's dry roasted. And that's why I put that in there. I wanted to see if anybody else saw that. Now, it may or may not be. Go by the label. All right, so you want the raw almond butter. Raw almond butter, yeah. You want to make sure that it's not salted and not roasted, and that it doesn't have the cane sugar in it, or the oils.
Does the roasted take away the nutrients?
It's not so much the nutrients, but it becomes it adds a hydrogenated edge, an edge of inflammation to it. The processing denatures it and just makes it less than ideal. That being said, I would still have the dry roasted almond butter over peanut butter or over something else less healthy. But the idea would be the raw. Yeah. And so normally I'll just take a teaspoon of it or a tablespoon, and I'll have that with my berries, and I have my shake, and that's breakfast for me. Sometimes I'll have eggs if they're out and somebody else makes it, but normally to save myself time right after our workout, that's what I have every single day. For lunch, same thing. I'll have something every day like this. I'll have a salad. Sometimes I'll have a Greek salad. Sometimes I'll have a house salad. Usually onions, tomatoes, avocados, and the lettuce in there, and then a piece of chicken, fish, or very rarely do I have beef on it. But I'll usually have a salad, and the key to the salad is the dressing. The key to the salad is the what? Is the dressing. Now, you know the difference between the bad dressings and the good dressings. Never rip anything open from a packet, because you know it's loaded with junk, right? Your best bet is to have a thing of extra virgin olive oil with you. They make bottles so small that you can actually carry them with you. Put them in your purse, take them with you if you can. I used to do that, and but that's the dressing of choice. You want to have the extra virgin olive oil. You can have a little bit of vinegar if you want on it, just a touch of that, and then some Himalayan salt, the pink salt that we have up there. I use that on all my salads every single day. And for dinner, what you see is you see a meat and a vegetable. You don't see bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, right? Meat and vegetables. Same thing. Chicken breast and asparagus, or chicken breast and broccolini. Over here, you see a piece of fish, and there's a little bit of jasmine rice in there. Now, if you are a diabetic patient or you're somebody that's looking to drop like a good 15, 20 pounds, I wouldn't recommend that you have the rice. But again, if it's jasmine or basmati and you're not so concerned about your weight, that is the healthier of the rices and of the complex carbohydrates. But that's why I put that in there. Yes? Mm-hmm.
Put in your smoothie and breakfast.
What do I put in my smoothie for the breakfast? I'll put water. The shake mixes very, very easily with water. And you can also add either almond milk or coconut milk in there, and that'll thicken it. I just like to keep it simple and stir it in a glass. A lot of my patients just put it in a blender, and then you can put the fruit in there, and that mixes well. You can put the almond butter in there, that mixes well also. But for me, it just mixes right up in the glass, and I slug that down with my supplements, and I'm in the shower. Before I get in the shower, after I get out of the shower, I'm still eating the berries and my almond butter. That's just what I do. Just a time thing for me. But everybody else usually likes to just put it in a blender and then go from there. And it works either way. It's still going down the same hatch, right? You're still getting the benefit of it. So, okay. So those are some practical examples. All right. I want to stop for just a moment, and I want to recognize some people, Deborah and Tamara and Nikisha. And I always like to do this just to say thank you for doing such a great job with your care, and say thank you to our staff for them helping you do such a great job with your care. Everybody give them a round of applause. And we're going to come around and we're going to give some medals out for some folks here who've really done a great job with their adjusting schedule. And most of you have, but it's just a time for us to be able to love on you here a little bit for perfect adjustment attendance. Marilyn Baxt. Maria. Everybody give Maria a round of applause. Yosana. Yeah. And where's the Murrays? All the Murrays back there. We have medals for the Murrays. Good. Awesome. Everybody give them a round of applause. Also, let's see here. I have this mic here. This is for somebody special. Maria. Here. I'm going to give that to you to hold on to.
Okay.
You're not nervous, are you? Do you know what I'm going to ask you?
How much I lost?
How much weight did you lose?
14 pounds.
14 pounds. Tell everybody.
Yeah, 14 pounds.
How'd you do that?
No bread, no pasta, no rice, no sugar, and I'm a sugar eater.
Right.
And just doing this.
Just doing this.
No exercise.
No exercise. Just following the rules.
Just walking to the Walmart, to the mall.
Walking to the mall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Everybody give her a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. So I just wanted everybody to hear that and just be encouraged because, you know, Maria's been coming here and John brought his wife in. John, is this your first workshop? Is this your first workshop?
Yeah.
So here's a funny for you. John's first workshop, he's been under care probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 months. And then Maria started having an issue. He said, go over there and let Dr. Yachter take care of you. So Maria comes over and she's like, what took me so long to get here? Starts coming to all the workshops. She brought her sister in, Yosana, who's doing better now. But an avid student. So here's my point. She's an amazing student, a learner. She's learning and applying the concepts. After just that first workshop, I mean, the weight started coming off. At the second workshop, she told me, I'm down 14, 16, or maybe it was 16 pounds. She gained more because of the holidays. She lost more. And how did she do it? Just by applying everything that you're learning tonight. She just went ahead and did it. Just threw all the carbs out and just did it. And so everybody here is capable of doing all that. We can all do that, right? Or right? So I'm proud of you. Very proud of you. All right. I want everybody to stand up real quick. Turn and put your hands on the person on the right side of you. We're gonna do a massage. Good. Massage. Squeeze. Get that blood going. All right. All right, karate chop.
Your hands are freezing.
That's not nice. You get me in trouble here. All right. Go ahead, turn around. Love your other neighbor. Go ahead, I got you. Go ahead. Squeeze. Are my hands cold? A little bit? I think Tyke is exaggerating over there. All right, karate chop. Good. You still awake, Marilyn? Awesome. Okay, give yourself a round of applause. And heads up. Heads up. Who's going to catch the t-shirt? Ready? Who's catching it? Coming over. In the back. Oh. Okay, so I think we're doing well on time here. So I'm going to go over a couple of things, some general recommendations, and then just get a little bit more specific so that you can see what exactly works best for you. As I was saying, with me, the shake that I use in the morning is very specific for the topic we're talking about tonight because it supports your blood sugar staying stable. Now, when you start that off in the morning, remember that testosterone is at its highest, human growth hormone is at its highest, and also that plays a big part in whether or not your blood sugar is stable. So if you blow that, then you're losing all of the benefits that we're trying to line up to keep you in fat burning. And so that's why this is really important that you start your day with stable blood sugar. And the shake eliminates all that guesswork as opposed to grabbing for a Pop-Tart, bowl of oatmeal, a bowl of cereal. This makes it very easy and user-friendly. And then also it's got phase 2 liver detox. Why? What did we say toxins do? Cause your body to hold fat. So if you're able to give your body detox support at the same time with this, again, you're helping support fat burning. And then it also has 26 grams of protein, which is a generous serving of protein. And what do you need protein for after a high-intensity workout? For muscle. So for all of the reasons that we've been discussing, building muscle, burning fat, detoxing, that's another important reason, aside of the fact that it is a multivitamin spectrum. So at some point, I would recommend that you try this if you haven't yet. There's chocolate, there's vanilla. It's very easy to make, and it is delicious. Second thing, this part of the supplement suite is the Ultraplex curcumin. Powerful, natural, anti-inflammatory. Now, I know a lot of people that take turmeric, but the issue is, again, getting mega doses. You have to have mega doses of this. So with the curcumin, you take at least 1 capsule in the morning, 1 capsule in the afternoon. Many of you under my care, I have you taking 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, sometimes 3. But this helps to reduce the inflammation, which helps the body to help repair and regenerate the cells, the cell membranes, which causes your body to be more alkaline, release the fat, and then also it's a powerful anti-cancer supplement as well. Yes?
Can that help with somebody who has arthritis?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, without a doubt. And then last one is green tea phytosome. So green tea is well known to have what's called thermogenic effects. What does thermogenic mean? Fat burning, yeah. Without the caffeine, and it's highly bioavailable, which means that your body can easily absorb it in the current form that they utilize. So we've seen great results with this. And again, it's caffeine free, so you don't have to worry about getting jittery or being up late at night. But you take it and it helps your body accelerate the fat loss. So for those 3 together, we call that the supplement suite. When you use them together, they have an amplified effect. They're synergistic, they work best together, and you get the best results and you save the most money, 15% off. Okay, so I wanted to play this video. This is really interesting, very short but powerful.
Being overweight can cause a number of health problems. But did you know it increases your risk for several types of cancer? There are many ways that excess fat can increase your cancer risk. Here are the 3 main ways. Too much body fat can trigger inflammation. Excess body fat and resulting inflammation causes the body to produce too much insulin, and fat cells produce estrogen. Inflammation, excess insulin, and extra estrogen all cause cells to divide more than usual. This rapid division can result in DNA damage, which can result in cancer.
So, fairly simple concept, but here's what the numbers translate to. And they use the body mass index as a height-weight ratio to determine, how serious and what kind of risks health-wise a person has, when their body mass index gets to a certain point. So if the BMI is over 30, that's the highest risk for cancer, diabetes, heart disease, fatty liver disease. So if your BMI is over 30, kidney, liver, stomach cancer risk goes up to 80%. So meningioma, brain tumor, pancreatic cancer, 50%, bowel, gallbladder, 30%. Can everybody see the risk of cancer with that BMI being over 30? Now, how do you know where your BMI is? Because you know if you're overweight or not, but then you don't know what your BMI is. If your BMI is 25 to 29, you're overweight and it's not ideal. But once you go over 30, now you're in the highest classification for health risk and early death. And so one of the ways to do it, and the easiest way, is to stand on a body composition analysis scale. So you take your shoes and socks off, you have bare feet on the scale, and the scale puts a low-level electrical impulse through your body. And there's an algorithm in the software that communicates with the computer, which breaks down the composition of your body to muscle mass, water mass, fat mass, your body mass index, your metabolism. And so it's pretty neat how it breaks it down, and it's very, very accurate. So this is what it looks like when you get a printout. The first thing that it gives you is, as an example, your weight. Then right below that you see your BMI, your body mass index. And then you have your body fat percentage. So imagine, if your body fat percentage shows as 42%, that means 42% of your mass that you're carrying around is pure what? Is pure fat, yeah. And so it's not just unhealthy for your organs, it's unhealthy for your bones and your joints. Your visceral fat rating. So again, when you go beyond 10, now you're talking about the highest risk factor for fatty liver disease. And fatty liver disease, as I said in the beginning, very serious, very dangerous, a deadly condition. And how do you even know that without knowing what your BMI is or your visceral fat rating, how close or how far you are? Your body water percentage, when you're losing fat, you need to see your water mass go up, right? If you're losing weight and your water mass goes down, that is a bad thing, okay? It's slowing your metabolism down, you're becoming dehydrated, and it's very, very unhealthy. But your scale will go down if you lose water. And so we have to always be looking at the right things. Your muscle mass, if you're losing fat, proportionately speaking, your muscle mass and your water proportionately should be going up. Is that making sense to everybody? So every time you stand on a scale and you get a printout and you're on this program, that next time that you get weighed in, your water mass should be up percentage-wise, your muscle mass should be up percentage-wise, but your fat mass should be what? Should be down. And that's how a weight loss program should work if you not only want to make darn sure you're losing fat and make darn sure you're getting healthy and you're getting out of harm's way. And this is the way we eliminate the guesswork. This is how we do the proper testing. Metabolic age, right? Imagine that, right? Imagine that. And so you're 65 years old and your metabolic age shows as 85? What does that mean? You have the metabolism of somebody 20 years older. What does that mean? You're in trouble. Yeah. And guess what? You lose 10 pounds and you just lose water and you lose muscle, you lose 10 pounds. Guess where that metabolic age goes? Even higher. So as the weeks go by, you get to see that metabolic age go down and down and down until it gets to at or below your chronological age. I did this program probably 6 years ago. I went through it. When I was done, I did it when I was 45. When I was done, my metabolic age was 30. So I was 45, but I had the metabolism of a 30-year-old. So it's a good place to be, and it's even more important to know where you're at.
Hi, my name's Larry. I've been on the program for a few days short of 2 months. My 40-day weight loss period, I lost 33 pounds, and my numbers across the board are great. I was taking one medication for blood pressure. I'm not taking that anymore. My metabolic age when I started here was 63, which wasn't bad because I'm 62. But after 40 days, it was 37, if you can believe that. My body mass index is healthy. Everything was great across the board.
Okay, so the reason why I'm showing you this is because there are some of us in the room who can manage our way through this. But again, I mean, without the body composition analysis, you can lose weight and there will be health benefits. And for some of us, it's easier to do, but for others, we've always had a problem with follow through. We've always had a problem with accountability. And this program was designed for somebody who needs help with accountability, because with it comes a daily manual, a journal. It's a step-by-step program, so it's fail-safe. Every day, you weigh your food, you log it, you journal exactly what you're eating, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, how much of it, you're bringing it in. Deborah's going over all of that with you to make sure that you're doing everything properly. You get your weigh in, you get your body composition analysis. Next time you come back, you do the same thing again. You do the comparison so that you could see the percentages improve, not just how much weight you're losing, but also how much fat you're losing, how your metabolism is correcting. And it's a lot more objective, evidence-based. It's important to look good and feel good, but it's also important to have a good health report go along with that. This is a little bit different also from the standpoint that in this program, you're not adding good fats to your diet. In this program, your body is utilizing and incinerating its own body fat for energy. So it's a little bit different in terms of our approach that way. And then we also use special supplements that helps your body start to turn on that fat burning and use its own fat as far as the fat burning process. So there are the nuances with that. And with this program, we also give you a guarantee that if you're doing everything that we show you to do, dotting your I's, crossing your T's, you're doing your part, if you don't lose at least 15 pounds at the end of the 30 days, we'll put you through a second program at our expense. And I can't remember the last time it's ever come down to that, but Deborah is phenomenal at what she does. She's very successful at what she does. And she's helped Nikisha through it. She's helped some of you guys in here through it as well. Just a quick more share.
Yes.
I'm Tom Brady. I've been, today's the 16th of April. I've been on the program my 43rd day now. I lost a total of 25 pounds and I've cut my insulin down to under a third of what I was taking.
Awesome.
So I'm going in the right direction. Program works.
Thank you.
So proud. Thank you.
It's my 40th day and I have lost 24 pounds. The thing I love most about this program is, for me, my energy level was way down. With this program, I'm more agile, flexible. I can play with my son. I'm not tired, so I would recommend this program to anyone. Maybe you might be skeptical, but it does work. Look at me.
Good.
I thought that was cute. So if this is something that you think may be a good fit for you, you start with the tests. You make an appointment tonight before you leave to do the body composition analysis. Normally it's $97 or $99. We do it for only $27 as a special for the workshop tonight. So you'll sit down, you'll have the body composition analysis. Deborah will review the test with you. She'll review the program with you. You can determine if it's a good fit for you and discuss all of your weight loss goals and everything that you want to do. So you just need to make the appointment before you leave tonight to take advantage of that. And then finally, I want to bring up Nikisha here because there's a lot that goes into proper nerve supply and weight loss and how it all comes together. And I thought it was interesting how Nikisha was telling me about how this all helped her not just with her back, but with her weight loss also. Neurologically, there are principles in medicine that have been described as saying, with few exceptions, hormone deficiency or hormone excess is the result of pathological manifestations in neural pathways. So when there's interruption or interference in the nerve system, it can cause hormonal and weight gain problems. Spinal lesions of the axis and axis, the top two bones in the neck, they found were associated with abnormal function of pituitary, which resulted in abnormal hormonal secretions. So what does that mean? When we did an examination, when Nikisha first started with us, she came to the orientation like many of you did here, everybody did, and she said, "Gee, doc, I think, maybe you should check me because I've been having pain in my lower back." And I'm minimizing it. It was really bad when she first started. She'll tell you about it. But we checked her. We found multiple levels of subluxation in her spine. And we said, okay, well, we're going to get started with this because she's too young to be in this big a mess. And lo and behold, she started feeling better, but then the weight loss really started taking off. So in the beginning, what was the first thing that you noticed when you started getting adjusted?
I have more energy. Prior to getting adjusted, I was always tired. It was hard for me to move around. I had a lot of inflammation in my hands, my feet. There were days I couldn't get out of bed. I would sleep pretty much the entire day after doing adjustments. I have more energy. I could work out, and this is the best I've felt in years. And I'm still pretty young, but I have a lot of energy, and I'm not in as much pain as I was before.
So do you think that helped you when you started, feeling better and having more energy? You were able to start doing the program with Deborah?
I did the program with Deborah, and I lost about 19 pounds in the 30 days. I have a different outlook in how I eat, what I put in my body. Now if I try to eat anything bad, my body's like, nope, it's just not working. But it's a great program to be on. It also changed my metabolism age because it was showing that I was 90. Wow. Yes. So, and I was surprised. So after doing the program, it changed my age on there also.
How many medications were you on before you started working here?
My bag was like a walk-in pharmacy. I had different medications that they put me on for, I was on about 2 or 3 different medications, and I'd walk around with painkillers because I was always in pain and I couldn't move. But since doing my adjustments and the weight loss, I have not been on any medication, haven't taken anything.
Awesome. Give her a round of applause. That's awesome. Good job. Thank you. Isn't that awesome? So proud of you, Nikisha. So proud of you. Okay. Well, hopefully this was encouraging for everybody here. The whole process of getting adjusted, everybody here is, pretty familiar with that. If you're a guest, when we do an adjustment, it's a very, very gentle movement where we're unlocking the joints to open up the nerve channels. This thing called subluxation is what puts pressure on the nerves. Sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't. But if you have bones out of alignment in the upper part of your neck, as we just showed you with the with the research, that it can disrupt the neurological pathways that have to do with hormone secretion, and that can affect your weight and your metabolism by way of the pituitary glands. A little further down, you have nerves that go to your thyroid. If you have subluxation going to your thyroid, that can cause a thyroid condition and cause a weight problem. Right here in the liver and the kidneys, those are important detox organs. Again, if your body's toxic, if it doesn't know how to clear toxins, that can cause a fat storage problem also. And then, of course, you have your reproductive organs, ovaries, uterus, your bladder, prostate, all those, the sex organs are involved with the hormones. So imagine if the bones are shifted out of alignment, interfering with the brain communicating with all those parts of the body. Is that healthy or unhealthy? How would you know? Well, you really don't unless you have an evaluation. So for a new patient, the thermal scans are important because the thermal scans, where they deviate with all these colors, show us where the abnormal areas are. And if we suspect abnormal areas there, then normally we'll go in and we'll look at an x-ray to see if it is there, number one, and number two, how bad is it? And so by way of studying the x-rays and the thermal scans, we eliminate the guesswork, and we get to properly diagnose whether or not an individual has a healthy nervous system or is building sickness and disease? When is the best time to find out if there's a problem there, before or after the disease develops? Before. So how much is it worth to have access to the testing here to pretty much predict whether or not your body's developing normal cells or abnormal cells? And that's what these scans do, not just for a new patient, but also for those of you who continue through with your progress evaluations. We can see how you're making progress, and we can also see what we need to do to make sure that you stay at your best. So if you're a guest here tonight, normally the exam, the thermal scan, the x-rays, normally about $360 worth of service. We have something called a health pass that we include the x-rays with, which we normally usually don't. But on behalf of the guests that invited you tonight, if you would like us to do that evaluation, consultation, and it includes the x-rays and the report of findings, for only $97, you can have one of those health passes. That's an amazing gift to give yourself on behalf of the guests that brought you here. And so we'll honor that tonight for you. If you are a patient and you need a consultation with Deborah as far as the weight loss goes, the body composition analysis, please make sure you make your appointment tonight before you go. There's a limited number of spaces available. And also take advantage of the discount on the supplements. If you guys are serious and you're going to use any of that, there are limited supplies, but we should have enough for what you need tonight. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I love and appreciate you. God bless.